Hey guys, welcome back to Rocket Gyan, my fellow space tubers. Okay, so today is a very exciting day and we are meeting after a long time. Um, because today, just when the morning will be beginning in um, Wallops, we should be able to see this beautiful rocket flying to the skies. And right now, everything is looking good. Only, yeah, the weather is kind of a concern. Low cloud cover is a concern. But other than that, everything looks green. And let's hope this rocket flies. So, how are you all, guys? Um, Hi, Jersey Devil. Hi, Anamika. Wallops has some low-lying clouds. Exactly. I can see the launch area from my living room, so I have been watching for clearing. Yeah, exactly. I know, right? So just waiting for things to get clear right now, but it should happen that we'll able to see the launch. Okay, so uh, I can see many people haven't joined yet. I don't know why that is the case, but till the time people join, have a look at the this visibility map here. Um, you can see that this rocket has kind of very vertical trajectory. This means that many it won't be visible for very far away. So yeah, just a sec. What is this? Okay. Cool. So without any further ado, let's just have a look at all the things which we need to do. I hope many people should have joined it, but that's not happening, so it's okay then. Okay, so this is a rocket which will be flying. This is known as the Terrier-Improved Orion rocket. And so yeah, this is how it looks like in flight. You can see that first of all, both of these stages here are those what do you say, the solid rocket booster. Yeah, the both of the stages are solid rocket motor. There are two stages in this rocket. This is the big payload bay here. This thing is a big payload bay here. This is the Terrier-Improved, or means the Orion stage here, and this is a Terrier stage here. So this rocket is known as Terrier-Improved Orion, with the first stage as the solid rocket booster. The second stage itself is also a solid rocket booster, but there is very peculiar thing about this second stage, and that is very interesting. um you know this second stage is very unique in its own kind, because for first 4 seconds it burns for around burns at around 80 kilonewtons of thrust, but then after 4 seconds it drops the thrust, so it's a bi-propellant phase rocket. Okay, so that is the thing here. The first 4 seconds of motor, it burns for around 19 kilonewtons of thrust, 19 pounds of thrust, sorry, and then it drops down to, after 4 seconds it drops down to 3 kilo pounds of thrust until 25 seconds. So this is very unique about the second stage, because it has two types of fuels in it, by phase propellant system. Okay, so yes, and this rocket itself has a what we say, the spin stabilized, it's spin stabilized rocket here. um and just a sec. Yeah, so it is spin stabilized, and the first stage probably has the spin motors in it, which means the spin motors will be responsible for the first stage rotation, and the fins are in cruciform configuration, which I have already told you many a times what does that mean, but I will be telling you about that in a bit also again. The second stage, this stage is also spin stabilized, but the fins are configured in such a way that it produces spin of around 4 cycles per second. Okay, and by spin stabilized, what I mean, simply I mean that when you have a spin on something, that thing becomes stabilized. It is like a spinning top. When it is spinning, then it is vertically stable, but when it is not, it can fall in any way. So when this rocket just goes up, right, if it is not spinning, it's like an unstable top, and it can go here, wire, I mean here, there, and without any control, because the motors itself does not have any TVC, thrust vector control, which means the gimbal, which means the steering ability. Okay, so the rocket itself does not have a steering ability, so it relies only on the stabilization, and it hence it tries to improve the stabilization by spin stabilizing itself. So once it is spinning, it is like a spinning top which is vertically stable, and it just goes in a direction which it is intended to go. So the first stage has like spin motors attached to it, which will rotate it. And then the second stage, the fins are configured in such a way here, these fins are configured in such a way that 4 cycles per second of spin is produced. And yes, you can alter and play with how the fin configuration could be, what the fin configuration could be, how they can be aligned so that they can produce a certain kind of a constant spin always during the atmosphere. So yes, that is the thing. And talking about the cruciform configuration for the first stage here, I do have something for you to see. This is the thing which I was talking about. Here you can see that it is kind of a diamond shaped here, and it is all symmetrical in all direction, which means that if it is intended to go in one means when it just goes up and the air drag pushes it downwards, air also pushes on this column here, as well as on the column which is the other side of this fin, and they both are symmetrical, which means that it does not produce any uneven drag here. So that means these fins can have a stabilized spin, which means it would try to stabilize itself in when directed in a certain way. Okay, so that is the thing, which means if spin motors have provided them like 4 cycles per second of spins, then these fins will ensure that it moves in 4 cycles and not exceed or decrease, until and unless obviously the thrust reduces. That is a different case, but yeah, you get to know what I meant to say. So that is the thing here. Hi, Rubamal. Looks like the Black Brent 12. The second stage of the Black Brent 12 is the Terrier stage, and it is being used as the first stage here. Okay. The fins are actually I just used this image to demonstrate the fins capability. That's it. Okay, now let's talk about the RockOn program, which is being launched today. I mean, this is a very good initiative by NASA and Colorado Space Grants Commission, if I'm pronouncing it all right. This program, in this program, students actually develop some hardwares, and there are workshops which are organized, and basically develop some hardware which is compatible for a rocket as well as for a space. And what I meant by that, have a look at this. So this is, you can see this RockOn workshop for 2021. Obviously this is a workshop with hands-on hardware which you need to have. So earlier, before 2021, it was organized at a certain location, obviously with all the people coming in and making this stuff, but in 2020 it was cancelled, and in 2021 again it is being organized, but this time it is being organized in online manner. And the Colorado Space Grants Commission actually managed all that. I mean, they literally delivered all the hardware to all the students at their homes, and then the students themselves used that hardware in all those Zoom meetings which you can see that, and made all the payloads that could be sent, and then they mailed again it back to the commission. They checked the hardware, and then they sent it to the vehicle assembly building to be assembled onto the stage. stage on the vehicle itself. So that is the thing here. Here you can see that whatever they are doing. So these are all the different the sensors and the experiments which can be assembled onto a plate, and that's what they are showing here, which you can see here. And we also have this very beautiful video of RockOn 2017 program. Here you should be able to see some of the process, and it's a very good thing to have. So just have a look at it. Okay, from where? And yes, they use Arduino as their electrical choice, so that is very cool. So here, from here you should be able to see this is what they developed. Most probably some sensors or sort of thing which they would have developed, the temperature, humidity, and all that thing which you can see here. So this is how the actual workshop used to happen in the when it actually used to happen in person. But right now it happened in obviously at home. So the radiation sensor and all those things, so you can see that how they are testing it all and making it. This is all hands-on workshop which the NASA organized. So this is a very good initiative, I must say that, because it opens up space for students, and once they know how to develop some hardware at least for space, then they are very much into aerospace and everything. So this is a very good outreach program, because that opens up all the space and removes all the complexity. So here you could see that many of the experiments were stacked onto each other. Here you can see that, and then they were put inside a container which will be exposed to space from here. This container won't just go outside, like just don't explode or something like that. This will remain as it is, but you can see there are holes and everything for it to expose it to space. So yeah, that is the thing. Now you can see they are taking the payload to the vehicle assembly building. So this is the rocket itself. This looks so cool, right? Here you can see there are so many participants out there which developed this containers and all those shelf, and now the NASA technicians are actually assembling and the payload inside the payload bay. Here you can see them doing that actually. So yeah, that this is how, and all of, I mean, this is so exciting. I would definitely want to pursue any kind of such activity if it would have happened in my country, because this is so cool. You get to know about everything about space, about designing a space hardware basically, because that develops your interest. And you also get to know about various things that happens that goes into designing a rocket and then assembling it and then getting itself ready to launch. So here you can see them doing that. So there you can see that there are so many containers on that, and yeah, obviously the signed payload bay. A beautiful time lapse of all the activities that was happening. So yeah, I mean, I could see this all day if I were the student here. And now they are checking in all the everything is fine and perfect. Once again checking all the payloads, and then they will be covering it with this payload sheath, wherein all the students have signed also. You can see that. So their signature, literally signatures, will also go into space. That is so cool, right? And there are two sections of this payload bay, and now you can see those being assembled onto the vehicle. This is a nose cone, probably having a parachute also on it. Here you can see a fully assembled the payload section, basically. Not the Orion will also come up, the second stage, the improved Orion. This is just a payload section. Looks so cool, right? Okay, so what what else? Okay, the images of the rocket. Yeah, the launch day, obviously, that we will have to see. There are some good pictures here which you can see. This rocket pictures. This is how the rocket looks like. Some details are evident here. We can see that the actually the separation mechanism for this the first stage and the second stage is not like that of Blackburn 12, where we had the aft section in a certain configuration which allowed the drag to separate. Here they literally use a pyrotechnical spring kind of a system to separate the stages. It does not have that kind of it, yeah, you can see that it has that kind of a structure, but not exactly that. So yeah, because they are using springs, obviously, so they don't need that. Okay, so I think that should be it. This was a pretty interesting video showing off all the things which is happening in there. So yeah, now moving on to the next thing. These are the video in the video which you just saw there. That was the different types of payloads, the basically the experiments being contained in a shell. Here you can see a whole container with one experiment. This is one experiment which was launched in 2017, I suppose, of having studying the fuel gauges, how the fuel gauges and model all those things. So they designed one. They had this one shell, the whole shell. They took that and filled that with their experiment. So yeah, this is how it looked like in the end. And okay, now let's just talk about the flight profile for this rocket. So this flight profile is itself is a unique one, because here you can see that obviously this is happened end of Orion burn, everything is good. Apogee is around 115 kilometers, 73 miles if you are into that metric system. This 73 miles, and it has a very vertical trajectory, does not go much horizontal. But here you can see that we have at t equal to 5.5 minutes the chute deploys, the parachute is deployed, and t equal to 15:10 in for 10 minutes it stays in air, and then slowly it comes down, and t equal to 15 minutes it splashes down in the ocean. So they will be recovering also all the payloads. I don't know whether they will be working or not, because those are simple electrical system, and now they don't even have that payload covering here, the red sheet here. So I don't think so it will work, but obviously it is a very good thing to have as a hardware which just went into space, right? So yeah, that is the case. Now let's have a look at the visibility map here. So since I just told you that this rocket itself is a very has a vertical trajectory, so it is not visible to many people. Even people living at Washington will also not be able to see it. You need to live near the coast. Here you can see from the map of who will be able to see it at t equal to 0 to t plus 10 seconds, just near the coast. And then this here this pink circle here will be t equal to 10 to 30 seconds, t plus 30 seconds, and then after t plus 60 seconds you should be able to see till here in this thing, yellow circle. So yeah, that is the thing here. This is the visibility map out here. If you have anything if you have any questions, you can ask me right away and I must answer your question. Good morning everyone. Hi Jim, how are you? And yes, we do have some KSP today also. Okay, let me see if we have nope, don't have the stream yet. Still waiting for that. We do have some time on it. you have any questions, you can ask me right now. Okay, so I can definitely talk about some experiments and the things which is happening in this launch. I didn't talk about that, right? So there were around 102 participants for this RockOn program, and they were able to increase the number of participants because obviously it was held in the online manner. So that was a plus point here. Always and always, whenever you have something in conducted in online manner, you can have much more participants than on offline. It is much cheaper. Okay, so yeah, 102 participants were actually participated. Out of this, 34 experiments will fly on the high altitude student platform through the Louisiana Space Consortium on a scientific location in the fall of 2021 in the summer of New Mexico. Since there were so many experiments, so 34 will be flying from New Mexico. And right now this rocket will carry 32 experiments which will measure acceleration, humidity, pressure, temperature, and the radiation count. So these are mostly, you know, all those normal things which we all know, which scientists know about the space. But obviously these kind of things encourages students to have basically, you know, even produce CubeSats in future. So there are 32 experiments from RockOn program. There are 8 experiments from RockSat-C program and 60 small cubes with experiments developed by middle school and high school students also. I mean, wow, such a program which a middle school student can also do and have something which went to space. That is so cool. And if you can develop interest in space and rocket science when you are in the middle or high school, wow man, you actually are shaping the career of that child in the passion of its interest, because many children don't know by that time what they have to do, and if you can provide them a direction, that is a very great thing. So yeah, that is the thing here. Hi Louis, Laurel Louis, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Everyone is having a great day. And yes, Jim, yesterday only we had the last update of the KSP 1.12, and that is the final update which we got. Patches could still come up, but the last major update, and now the focus will be on the development of KSP2. That is cool. I mean, the I saw that tribute video also on the channel, the Kerbal tribute, right? And it literally made me cry also at its midst of the video. It was very well designed. I mean, I must say that. So congrats to you for having and maintained such a beautiful game for a long time, and now looking forward to the KSP2, a more awesome game in its development right now. So yeah. Okay. Guys, you can in the pinned message you comment, basically you have the link to my just a sec, Twitter, and you can tag me on Twitter if you have if you by chance get to see this launch and take some photos. You can tag me on Twitter and we can see those photos and everything here on this stream itself. Okay, cool. Still 12 minutes and counting. We are still waiting. Okay, so let's just see some Twitter updates here. University of Delaware and ionospheric probe. Best Chase. Chase Cotton says, okay, good luck today to Kelvin, Pinard, Gerard, Richard, and Dr. Maruka on the University of Delaware. Good luck to you. Hope your payload survives and you get to have all the readings of your experiment. Good luck to you. Shadil, it's nice that schools are involved. Looks like SN16 might fly soon. Yes, schools are involved, and SN16 still SpaceX is working on a full-length prototype right now, so we might see some delays here. So, okay, I was having this video here in front of you. The Virgin Galactic, the full commercial launch license. Okay, yeah. You can see the Virgin Galactic Unity in action. So they have this launch license is approved. Our recent spaceflight performed well against all flight objectives and marks the first time the FAA has licensed a space line to fly customer. Next up in our test program, a fully crewed space flight in this summer. That is so cool. This Virgin Galactic, this Unity launch itself is a very commercially, designed plane. I must say that. I mean, yes, you can have the experiments also, but it is more in length to have the people access to space. So yeah. And yes, the talking about today's launch, this today's launch is also a part of this CO Space Grant RockOn RockSat-C program. I already told you that 32 experiments are flying today and 34 will be flying from New Mexico in this balloon, HASP balloon mission. And this balloon, high altitude balloon, is also very, very, very fascinating if you if you have followed these missions. These balloons literally go to near the edge of the space and they orbit the earth, literally orbit the earth for some days or so, and then eventually the helium gas and all is not able to stand that space environment, so it pops off and then the payload comes down, and then again the parachute is there on the payload to recover it. So it's a very unique and innovative solution to space, in which you have to get some experiments into space, but you can't afford a rocket, so you make this kind of a balloon, and it can stay there for like weeks also in space, in near the edge of the space, not technically space, but near the edge of the space. So if you can deal with it, very cool. So this is the thing here. It's a very big balloon also, and yesterday or the day before yesterday only there was one balloon launch that happened from Sweden, I suppose. I don't remember, but that there was something, I don't remember right now, but yeah. Okay, still waiting. There have been some good updates from okay, the spacewalk is still going on to install the second solar array, which you can see here. And these solar arrays are literally those rolling solar arrays. They are not like a flat panel, a glass panel. No, not at all. There are rolling solar panels which opens up, which will be opening up. They are installing it right now, the astronauts, and it will be opening up and will provide electricity to ISS then. Okay. Exactly. Now the question is, will Richard Branson be on the next flight? He is itching to get to the space and probably wouldn't mind getting there before Jeff Bezos. I mean, yes. So there have been some rumors also that Richard Branson will be next person, just to have that commercial space race going on. Whosoever will be the first person, the first billionaire to go into space in their own vehicle will have a certain strong statement to the public. So yes, that will open up great opportunities for people who are actually interested to go into space. So like Jeff Bezos is going to space in its blue New Shepard rocket, hopefully in July only, and he will be the first person to go to space right now. That's all we know. But if Richard Branson also, you know, has this mind that he has to be the first billionaire to go into space, then he can push his deadlines too. So we'll have to see what happens. Something interesting is still going on in the space. So yeah. Okay. Hello, we might be working with Space Kids India and we are now dealing with ISRO for the launch services Monarch Aerospace. Oh, that's so cool. Congratulations, Monarch Aerospace. I hope you will find some good knowledge with them, working with them, and hopefully someday we'll have something from you too. That would be so cool. We are watching the launch at the Institute San Felipe near Argentina. That's cool. I mean, every I should be saying that every country who has access to space should be having this program, this RockOn or RockSat-C program, because it ensures that the people who are joining NASA or even any space aerospace corporation are passionate to work there. They are not just there to be a software engineer or a mechanical engineer or technician, not at all just like that. They are there because they have interest in space and they're passionate about it, because space is one thing, one sector where you actually want passionate people. You can go away with you know, okayish people with in another sectors, because obviously that is well established. Space is one which is not very well established and there is so much to learn and study. So you really need some passionate people out there to work for you, so that you can have a rigid solution to something, and that solution actually works in space too. So you want that to happen, and that's why you need some passionate people, and that's why this program is very crucial in ensuring that. Okay, so still waiting. Yeah, 4 minutes are left. So yes, we are going, and talking about the Artemis program here, man, this is going great right now. As Bill Nelson announced in recently also only, that they are aiming for November launch of Artemis 1 mission. That is so cool. That is, you know, it was anticipated to be launched by December, but right now they are on track to launch by November. Although he says that it could be pushed back to December if there is any problem as such, but they are on track to for a November launch too. That is so cool. And we will be finally be seeing some astronauts to the moon. That is so cool, right? Astronauts on the moon. We are having some footage, that to a very high quality footage from the surface of the moon. And wow, that would be the first step for the base on the moon, and the first step, the foundation stone for our journey to the Mars. And talking about the journey to the Mars, we are also we should be seeing one nuclear uh, propulsion unit in action. Just let me just tell you, what am I telling about? Yeah, here you go. DARPA's program, on orbit nuclear thermal propulsion system for DARPA's program called Demonstration Rocket for Agile Lunar Operations. So you can already see that people are literally working on nuclear propulsion, because this is a field where if you perfect this nuclear propulsion, then you can call yourself the king of rockets for that time being, because obviously we know nuclear propulsion is the future, and whosoever perfects it will be the king for propulsion in space. I must say that. I must actually say that right now you can see that it's a nuclear thermal propulsion. We need to wait for nuclear fusion propulsion to come, and once that is there, we should be able to see some SSTO also in action, because nuclear fusion can have high thrust with high ISP and all this all environment operation, which means it can operate on Earth also as well as on in space also. So that would be very interesting to see, although that is like 50 years down the line I'm talking about, but still we need to start somewhere, and this is the thing, nuclear thermal propulsion. Cool, right? I watched the first moon landing with my grandpa when I was a kid. We need to go back before I did. Okay, moon landing. Yeah, yeah, Jim, I expected that from you, right? Did you mean moon by that? Jim, I know you meant moon by that, right? The literal moon, not the KSP moon. Okay. The KSP hangover is still there. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I can understand that. Okay. So yes, you are right. We are right now on the just blink of going into this going towards the moon again, and hopefully to the Mars also. So we are living in a very good decade. This 2020 to 2030, this decade will have some very promising changes as well as developments to our space program all over the world. I'm saying it out loud, because right now Artemis mission is there, US is doing that, but along with that, China and Russia are also planning on building their own the lunar base, the ILRS, and Chinese recently revealed their plans to for a literal crew transportation to Mars. So China is literally advancing in space tech, and we should be seeing some modern day space race soon, very soon, I must say that. It's a great time to be alive. I know that, right? No, you are not banned, Anamika. Why do you want to be banned? Okay. Okay, here we have the footage right now. Oh, looks a little bit cloudy.
Hey, good morning. This is from NASA's Wallops Flight Facility in Virginia. We are currently counting down for the launch of a Terrier-Improved Orion suborbital sounding rocket carrying the RockOn and RockSat-C educational payloads. Target launch time this morning is 8 a.m. Eastern Time, and the launch window runs until 10 a.m., so we do have some time if needed. So far this morning, everything has gone fairly smoothly, actually. We did have concern with some low clouds in the area, but they have started to break up, so hopefully they'll be good enough for us to launch. Yesterday we were scheduled to launch, however, sea states were a little bit on the rough side. And so
TD on 1.
Okay, so cloud cover is a concern here, though.
SEO? Yeah, this is TD. Would you be able to provide a surveillance status update at about T-minus 15 minutes on channel 1?
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Thank you.
And so we were looking to launch yesterday, but again, the rough seas prevented us from doing that. With the educational payloads, we do like to recover those, and the seas were just too rough for the recovery boats to be able to go out and bring those payloads back, the experiments back to Wallops. So we did postpone a day, and today the seas are much better condition. And as you just heard, we'll be listening for a surveillance. Folks will give us a report on boats out in the area, and that will come in about 3 minutes from now.
Is that a giant painted white in the background? No. Now, this rocket, most of you must be knowing that it's a
Yes, sir, go ahead.
sounding rocket. It's not an orbital rocket. I should have mentioned that, right? This is not an orbital rocket. This is a sounding rocket launch, which means it will just go straight up and then it will come down. No orbit will be achieved with this launch. So that's why this rocket is a bit on the, tiny side.
Okay, as we mentioned this morning, we'll be flying the RockOn and RockSat-C educational payloads. The basic purpose of this or design of these programs are to give students at the university level an opportunity to design and build experiments that will fly in space. So rather than learning more about the rocket side of things, we're actually teaching students how to build experiments that work on
Exactly.
spacecraft, and this is done in conjunction with the Colorado Space Grant Consortium and also Virginia Space Grant Consortium.
Cool.
Participants in RockOn receive instruction on the basics required to develop a scientific payload for flight on a suborbital rocket, and then after learning the basics in RockOn, students may then participate in RockSat-C, where during the school year to design and build a more complicated experiment for rocket flight. And then in August, we'll be flying a rocket with what we call RockSat-X, and again, these are the next level up, a little bit more complicated, a little bit larger payload area that the students get to design their experiments to.
Thanks, Matt, for that 199. Really appreciate it, man. You are great. It really helps me to be there and provide all those commentary to you all.
This morning we have 32 RockOn experiments that we're flying, and also an additional 8 RockSat-C experiments. The RockSat-C experiments were developed by Carthage College, McNeese State University, Old Dominion University.
TD on one.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Yep, we're ready for the surveillance brief when you have it.
Yes, sir. Currently, we've got all of the assets on station, staged for recovery. Our 2 aircraft, we've got one that's clear of the hazard area. Our second aircraft is working a target to the south, is now clearing to the north. And we've got quite a number of vessels out to the eastern edge of the hazard pattern. Currently, reports from safety is that we're within our risk criteria, and we're maintaining the inlet control at this point, and currently surveillance is green from our perspective.
Cool, that is great to
TD
hear.
copies all. Thanks, SEO.
Okay, so you just heard from the surveillance officer that we're getting great cooperation from the local mariners. It is fishing season, of course, here in the Atlantic, and everybody's just waiting on the edge of the hazard area for us to launch for them to get out to the fishing ground. So hopefully that will be continue, and we're coming up here on launch in about 14 minutes.
Jersey Devil, and as you mentioned, I know
And continuing on the RockSat-C universities that are participating, again, we have Carthage College, McNeese State, Old Dominion University, Oregon Institute of Technology, Temple University, University of Delaware, and University of Vermont. This year, RockOn had 102 participants in the program. Typically, these students would actually come to Wallops in a workshop, and they would basically have a very quick course in learning how to build, and they would build their experiments, and we would fly them within the week. However, this time, because of COVID restrictions, they were able to do this virtually, and students worked individually or in teams, and they were able to, at their own schedule, develop and work on their experiments, and then ship them to Virginia or Colorado Space Grant, which then brought those here to Wallops for integration into the rocket earlier this week.
exactly. So,
So the rocket we're flying on today is the Terrier-Improved Orion, which is one of the smaller of the NASA sounding rockets. However, this rocket is extremely fast, so don't blink. The Terrier motor will burn out in 5.2 seconds after launch. At that time, it will be 1.2 miles, flying at 1,606 miles an hour. The second stage Orion ignites at 15 seconds after launch, burns out at 40.4 seconds. At that point, it's 21 miles altitude and traveling at 28.52 miles an hour.
RSO, start away. Go for RSO. Provide Pad 2 MRL launcher preliminary wind-weighted settings.
Settings are azimuth 112.4, elevation 85.0.
Azimuth 112.4, elevation 85.0.
Good readback.
Check 98. LC, this is ROA.
This is LC.
Set MRL launcher to azimuth 112.4, elevation 85.0.
In work.
okay. Yes, so I was talking about the
Payloads this morning will be carried to an altitude of 67 miles approximately. That will occur in
67.
just under 172 seconds into the flight. They will descend by parachute, which will deploy at about 461 seconds into the flight at 2.8 miles altitude, and then we expect the splash to occur around 80 seconds after launch. The payloads will then be recovered by one of the local boulders that we work with, and he will go out and get that, bring the payloads back. We'll then de-integrate the payload, the experiments out of the payload, and then Colorado Space Grant will ship those back to the experimenters.
ROA, LC.
Go for ROA.
MRL launcher settings are azimuth 112.4, elevation 85.0.
Good readback. Check 99.
RSO TD on 1.
Go for RSO.
Yeah, please provide status on impact area clearance.
Standby 1.
So I think we are looking in good for the launch, although the cloud
RSO,
cover.
the hazard area is clear.
Copy all.
Okay.
PMTD, item 101 is not required.
As the
Go,
test
TD.
director stating that we will not be holding the count this morning, that we will continue
Proceed as requested. Range is green.
for an
Wow.
8 a.m. launch this morning.
Now we are heading to something. This is cool. And for that,
And
oops,
also as a
we
program
should be having
note
this.
that after the mission this morning is completed, we will be joining the spacewalk at the International Space Station coverage on NASA TV.
Cool. Let me just have it. Oops. Yeah, good. Enough, is it? Think we are good. Yeah. I am good.
And
Android
in just
Gaming.
about 30 seconds, we'll be hearing the final poll for continuance from the different stations here at Wallops to continue with this morning's launch.
Man, this is happening now. I mean, okay, cool. I thought we would be having some concerns with the cloud, but things are looking good. And they have been instructed to not hold the countdown this morning.
This is ROA on Channel 1. This is NRW 6138, Terrier Mark 12 Improved Orion launching from Pad 2 MRL launcher. Please stand by for station checks. All stations should announce status as green or red on Channel 1. RC.
RC is green.
M&O.
M&O is green.
Programmer.
Programmer green.
LWO.
LWO's green.
LC.
LC is green.
PLC.
PLC is green.
LPM.
LPM is green.
MM.
MM is green.
RCE.
RCE is green.
SCO.
Stand by for SCO.
Okay. Please no interruption.
SCOs go, I guess. We're currently tracking a couple targets, but let me give you a call here in just a second for SCO.
ROA, you can proceed. Go pending.
SRPO.
SRPO is go.
PM. RSO.
RSO, go pending surveillance.
TD.
TD is go pending surveillance. All stations, this is TD. All stations are responsible for reviewing the go, no-go criteria listed in the MOD. Only stations annotated with an asterisk in the previous step are permitted to call hold. All other sites report red. Check item 104.
Surveillance side is getting something, but he says that we should be getting a go soon. So let's hope we will be having that soon. Although I would, okay.
And you heard that all stations currently are reporting green. Still waiting for the final report from the surveillance officer who is looking at boats that may be downrange in the hazard areas. We should receive that report fairly soon.
Cool. Yeah, I was telling that although the camera has a bit of exposure problem here, we can see that it is kind of a...
SRPO.
Go for TD.
Let's hold this at 5 minutes until SCO gives us a green.
TD copies. Programmer, this is TD.
SCO concurs with the hold at 5 minutes.
Programmer, I heard that.
Yes, let's hold at 5. Count down and hold at 5, please.
Copy. MM, you copy?
This is MM.
We're going to hold at T-minus 5. Copy?
Copy that.
T-minus 5 minutes and hold.
TD, RSO on 1.
Go for TD.
Yes, sir. Can you meet me on 5?
Moving to 5.
Okay, so we are on a hold now.
And we are now at T-minus 5 minutes and holding, waiting for reports from the surveillance officer to make sure that we're clear in the hazard areas, downrange, and over the ocean.
So we did have something with the boats out there, and the surveillance officer has not reported any go for the launch yet. Hence we are holding down for the launch. Yes, it's on hold. Yes, Ken, you have arrived at the very last time. I would have said that, but now we can have some waiting time here. Okay, cool. It does happen, Jersey Devil. I mean, when you launch from some, those populated areas out there, and then the boats are a problem. You can't, that happens. That always happens. So if you are launching in from Florida, that thing does not happen as much. But in Wallops, yes, that is a populated
And
area.
You can see on
so
the pad there the Terrier-Improved Orion suborbital sun rocket ready for launch. You also see in the background a balloon flying in the upper left corner of the picture. That balloon is, we fly those during the day. That allows, lets mariners know that we're doing a launch operations for the day. So that's another one of our processes that we use for working with the mariners to let them know that we're doing a mission.
Okay. I literally thought that the thing out there, that red balloon out there was some sort of, just hanging out there with the rails or some sort. I didn't know that it's literally a blimp out there in the air, and they are having it. So yeah. I was at Wallops Island last week for the NROL 1111 launch. I'm very jealous of you if you did see that launch in person. I spy in the meantime. Okay, if you want a full rocket view, it looks like this. Okay, and this is a solid rocket motor. The first and the second stage both are solid.
The rocket
So
we're flying this morning, the Sound rocket, is a solid fuel
okay, he said it.
vehicle, extremely fast. It's an unguided system, so it will be spinning up as it flies, which helps control the stability of the rocket. Think of it kind of like when someone is shooting an arrow, and that if you look at an arrow, or if you could look at an arrow, it will spin a little bit, that the fins are on the arrow are canted. That gives it that spinning motion, and it's the same thing we do with these rockets. So we're looking at a target in the sky that we're looking to fly at. So based on the winds at the ground level and also upper level, we will fly various balloons throughout the morning. That gives us the winds at up to 100,000 feet, and that will allow us to move the launcher to the right angles in order to hit that target in the sky.
Exactly, because it is a weather dependent rocket and you want it to hit that sky. Even it is unguided, but you know how it guides. It is an unguided rocket, but then also it is able to hit the target. That is so cool, right? Yeah, that happens. And how does it achieve that? It achieves that by adjusting the launch angle.
The students prepared their rockets in the RockOn program virtually this year instead of coming here to Wallops. This allowed us actually to build more experiments than what the rocket can hold. So we will be flying 32 of the experiments on the rocket itself. And then this fall, there are 34 experiments that will fly on the high-altitude student balloon platform through the Louisiana Space Consortium on a NASA scientific balloon in the fall of 2021 from Fort Sumner, New Mexico.
Okay. Nope, not windy. The hold is because of the boats out there. The boats are in the hazardous area, so we need to clear out those boats and then we can proceed with the launch. So that is what we are waiting for right now. Yes, it looks a bit taller also from the usual launches. So again, a taller rocket means a very unstable rocket. So you do need that good weather to have yeah, I was talking about that target thingy. So it is an unguided rocket, still it is able to hit the target because it is able to maneuver itself with the help of the wind. So since it is using wind for its advantage, so it also needs wind to cooperate with it. So to do that, it has to what do I say, rely on those weather concerns, the winds and all that. So yes, that's how things happens. They both go hand in hand. Wind helps in achieving the target, hitting the target. So rocket also has to follow the wind's rules and adjust itself. The launch angle, the azimuth, and all those things which they adjust just before the launch, that happens just to ensure that they are hitting the target and not going anywhere else because of the wind. I don't know, man. It's a blimp or what? That red thing? Yeah, I mean, it looks like a blimp, but it's a very static one. It's not moving anywhere. He said that it's a weather balloon. It's a balloon out there, and they Did I hear it right? He said that they fly it so as to make mariners know that they will be launching it from the island today. So if it is a thing, because it's a red blimp, and red thing obviously has a largest wavelength visible from very far away, and that's why you have your car brake lights as red. A little bit of facts out there. The red color has the longest wavelength, so it is visible from far away, and that's why
PM to SCO.
they are using this blimp as red, as well as your car brake lights are also red.
PM, this is SCO. Are you calling?
Confirm. Just wanted to see if you had a status yet.
Yes, sir. We've got two confirmed targets to the south edge of the hazard pattern right now. We're currently red. We need to get some accurate positions on these in order for us to pass along to safety for risk assessment.
Copy.
Okay, so we do have some concerns. Two boats, as he said, I think so, yeah. Two boats are there in the ocean. They need to have confirmed location there. Where are they standing, so as to ensure they are not in the hazardous area. But seems like they are, and they now need to be moved away. See, this is a thing.
And there you heard the surveillance officer report that they're just trying to get a good status to provide to the safety folks, so they can crunch the numbers and make sure we're safe to launch. That the two boats that are on the edge of the hazard area are in a good position, that they are safe for us to launch. This has been an extremely busy year here at Wallops on the launch range. Just on June 15th, we launched a Minotaur 1, which is North Grumman rocket for the U.S. Space Force, carrying a payload for our three satellites for the National Reconnaissance Office. And then coming up, starting July 6th, we have two sounding rockets that will be launched between July 6th and July 20th. And more information will be coming out on those in the next week. But those will be studying it's called Dynamo 2. And those two rockets will not be launched on the same day. They will be launched on separate days. But one is looking for some ionospheric conditions where there is some activity, and then the other one is looking at a quiet period, so they can compare the two. Launch windows for that missions, the 6th through the 13th, the launch window will be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And on the 13th, or the 14th through the 20th, launch window moves to 8 a.m. to noon. And live coverage will be carried on the Wallops YouTube site for those missions 20 minutes before the launch window opens.
Cool. Thanks, Marco, for coming in. And yes, you should be, if you live nearby and you have the opportunity to see this launch, you should go out and see this. Let me have the visibility map for you. This is the visibility map. Till t plus 10 seconds, you should be able to see in this red area around here, and then the pink area till t plus 30 and t plus 60, then on this here. So yeah, since it's a very vertical going rocket.
We are currently at T-minus 5 minutes and holding for the launch of a Terrier-Improved Orion suborbital sending rocket from NASA's Wallops Flight Facility in Virginia. We are currently holding to assess the boats that are currently on the edge of the hazard area to make sure that they are safe when we do launch. And so once they crunch the numbers and determine that we're good to go, they're going to re-poll everyone to all the stations to make sure we're good to continue for launch.
Cool. So right now what will happen is that they will have to reassess the wind conditions and the weather, and then adjust the launch angle as per that. So we'll have to wait and see. They will, after they clear, they may be first of all they have to get them clear. So that is one thing, and then the trajectory engineers will have to design another trajectory keeping in mind all the weathers and that. So we might get some delay with respect to that also. So we'll have to wait and see how things progress. But right now, first and foremost, those boats needs to go away, and then we can adjust anything. And see, this is the thing which happens with these kind of launches. First of all, these rocket launches, these sounding rocket launches are very, very weather sensitive, and because of the weather, we have seen the Black Brant 12, right? How many times it was scrubbed, and it was at the very last day of the launch window, the finale time, it literally launched. So they are very weather sensitive rockets, and if weather cooperates, luckily, because that obviously it's not on our hands, then the range, the safety officer, as you know, the range is having some problem here with the boats out there. So we'll have to see. Know when to step outside because the ground gonna shake. Although I must say that this rocket is too fast. So if you will feel that sensation and then go outside and look for the launch, I would say that the rocket would have left to the space only. So maybe if you are living very nearby, then only you'll be able to feel that ground shaking sensation. This is not an orbital rocket, this is a normal sounding rocket. So you might not hear that, but again, you can feel and hear all those rockets sound which this rocket will be making if you live nearby. When launch, says Zarki, when launch, we are holding at T-5 minutes. Because of the boats out there in the hazardous area, we'll have to get them clear out, and then we can proceed with the launch. The weather was looking good, I must say that, for 8 a.m. liftoff time, but right now we have gone past that, so we can't say anything if the weather is still holding green or not. The time in the launch window, it's like 8 a.m. EDT till 10 a.m. EDT, so it's a 2-hour launch window.
Go for TD.
Can you meet me on 5, please?
Moving to 5.
Okay. So yes, we do have a 2-hour launch window, so that's not a problem. But again, the weather is a thing which we have to see. The low cloud cover is a thing you can see already there. So we'll have to wait and see. And guys, if you want to support my channel and my stream and whatever I do, basically you can do that by becoming a member. Member option is enabled on this channel. You can click on the join button, and that will give you access to all the emojis, all the perks, everything that you can get. And you want to support me as well as get some perks, you can do that.
This is MNO channel 1. Permission to be on console for a couple of minutes.
So yes, you can do that. You can either become a member of this channel, or you can even go and join Patreon if you are comfortable with that platform. There are different plans for you, so you can check
All
it out.
stations, this is TD on channel 1. Just want to provide a update to the launch team. We're currently holding at T-5 minutes for a range of Fowler. We should have an update from safety in approximately 15 minutes, so that's 12:25 Zulu. After which we'll either remain red in a hold, or proceed to terminal. Either way, if we proceed to terminal, we will re-poll for terminal at step 103. TD out.
And there you just heard from the test director that we're currently holding for at least another 15 minutes before we pick up the count while they assess boats that could be in our hazard area and crunch the numbers there. So it's going to take about 15 minutes for that to happen. And then at the T-minus 5 minute mark, if everything is clear, they'll do another poll to proceed, and then we'll pick up the count at the T-minus 5 minute mark.
Yeah, I'm actually waiting for that day when the rockets could be launched without a countdown. That would be so great, right? I mean, yeah, if you want a countdown, you can have, but it could be instant. It's not like T-minus 2 hours and the countdown is beginning. It's like in T-minus 1 minute or 5 minutes, you can have the countdown and it's going on. I would be very interested on seeing that. On that long that era of time, if that happens and if I live by that time. Because that could only happen when we have like proper SSTOs in place, and for having a proper SSTO we need nuclear rockets, and for having nuclear rockets which can support that type of tech, we need nuclear fusion rockets, and right now we don't have that. So we'll have to wait and see. And people concerned with the nuclear radiations and all those things, let me just tell you that we already have a safety policy and policy and safety in place to transport active nuclear core in aircraft and trains. So we isolate that and we transport it. So we already have that, so it won't be a problem for the rockets too if we can ensure that the nuclear core can remain in a particular case, right? Whatever anomaly happens. So we'll have to wait and see. Right now only we have the nuclear fission, the nuclear thermal rocket propulsions in place, which we will be having a demonstration for that soon. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm very, very fond of nuclear rockets, I must say that. Hi Ropadre, how are you? Student rocket still achieving more than Blue Origin. Okay. See, Blue Origin had a thing with the New Shepard that was to have it, to enable that for commercial space as well as have humans on board. So they need to do some extra work out there. They can't have a solid rocket boat, solid rocket motor to transport humans to space. Ideally, that would have been the cheapest and you can say the cheapest and the easiest way, but again, humans are there and solids are not reliable, so you need to switch over to normal liquid fuel engines. So that's why they went with that, although the progress is a bit slow. But again, I'm repeating, Jeff Bezos has stepped down from Amazon CEO, and now he's totally focusing on the Blue Origin head. So we might see some changes in the recent years, but we'll have to wait and see. Although I do remember one thing, that the New Glenn rocket, for them, they were having one position out in the open, which was the position stated the role as that they have to ensure that the New Glenn rocket or the B4 engines perform well. I don't remember the exact wordings out there, but seeing that, it looked like they were not
the
getting
NASA
somewhere.
Flight Facility, we're still currently at T-minus 5 minutes and holding for the launch of the Terrier-Improved Orion suborbital sounding rocket carrying the RockOn and RockSat-C educational payloads. We still have about another 10 minutes for them to be looking at the surveillance picture of boats, aircraft in the area to make sure that we're clear that we don't have any safety issues there with parts that could fall down and hit the boats. And then, so we expect the safety and the surveillance officer to report out in about 10 minutes on their status. This morning's launch is, as I mentioned, one of the smaller launches, rockets in the fleet. This vehicle we're flying today with payload is about 39 feet tall. It will be visible only in the immediate area. So if you're on the eastern shore of Maryland, Virginia, and southern Delaware, you might be able to see it depending on cloud cover in your area. And also the western side of the Chesapeake Bay directly across from Wallops, we think you may be able to see it. So this launch is not going to be as visible, basically because of the size of the rocket.
And here you go.
But hopefully for those of you who are in the area, that you do get to view this one.
So this is the visibility
also
map.
Keep in mind that there is a little bit of a lag between what you're seeing on the stream or on NASA TV from actual events here at NASA Wallops. So take that into account when you're trying to go out and watch the launch.
Yes, campaign, we have a hold out there because of the boats, but here you have the visibility map for all of those people who want to see that. We can see the rocket, as he said, is not very much visible because the trajectory is very much vertical, so that reduces the chances for you to see that. More steeper, I must say, the trajectory is, the better you will be able to do that, view that. So T+10, you can see that even the people from Washington will not be able to see that. So people living in Delaware will be able to see all those. So we'll have to wait and watch whosoever will get a chance to see this thing. Okay. It's not as easy as it sounds like. If you have an engineering degree, then come on over. We have those policies in place, right? Those rocket policies wherein that disqualifies any international candidate to join any rocket program. So for security reason, because rocket propulsion and missile system propulsion matches kind of, so yeah, the ITAR regulations does not allow that. They're outside waiting. Cool. Tell them to come inside right now. We'll have some time. As he mentioned, we'll used to have like T-15 minutes, so it must be like T-10 minutes until we pick up the countdown. So we do have some time. And talking about this rocket, the second stage of this rocket is very fascinating. This is what they call the bi-propellant phase rocket. Bi-propellant phase, or what? Or biphase, let me see, it is biphase propellant system. Okay, so yeah, the biphase propellant system. What do I mean by that? It is for approximately 4 seconds it produces around 19,000 pounds of thrust, and then after 4 seconds it produces around 3,000 pounds of thrust until burn out. So it's like sustaining the thrust till 25 seconds. So yeah, that is the thing here. So it's a unique solid rocket motor. It's not like just increasing the thrust being increasing and increasing and increasing. No, we do get a initial thrust of 19,000 pounds, and then for 4 seconds, then we get shift to 3,000 pounds till 25 seconds. So yeah. Although as the sun is coming up, the visibility is increasing, so that is a plus point out there. Cloud is still a concern. Let's hope the cloud is not a spoiler for all of you watching today, but sun is there, right? And as the time will pass, the sun will come up to the horizon, come up to the overhead, and that means we will be having the best visibility that we can have. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. It's not very small, although it's like 36-foot long rocket, if I am right here. What will be the apogee? That's a good question. As he said, since the weight is around, weight for this rocket is, you know, a bit on the higher side, around 320 to 350 kgs. The apogee is lesser one, around 63 miles in altitude. 63, yeah. So 100 kilometers, maybe you can say that.
And we're continuing to hold at the T-minus 5-minute mark here at Wallops for the launch of the Terrier-Improved Orion suborbital center rocket. We expect to hear probably in about 5 minutes or so from the range safety officer and surveillance officer the status on the range to make sure that we're clear of all boats and aircraft downrange.
Go for TD.
Hey, can you meet me on 5, please?
Moving to 5. All stations, this is TD on channel 1. Cleared the Fowlers, range is currently green. However, we need to update the launcher settings. ROA will lead that, and then we'll proceed into the terminal count poll. And after the poll, I'll coordinate a new T0 with programmer.
RSOs, ROA.
Go for our.
Ready for those updated settings?
Yes, ma'am. Settings are azimuth 111.1, elevation 85.3.
Azimuth 111.1, elevation 85.3.
Good readback.
LC, this is ROA.
LC.
Set MRL launcher to azimuth 111.1, elevation 85.3.
In work.
So looks like we are going in for the launch now. The
ROA, LC.
Go for ROA.
MRL launcher settings are azimuth 111.1, elevation 85.3.
Good readback. All stations, this is ROA on channel 1. This is NRW 6138, Terrier Mark 12 Improved Orion, launching from Pad 2 MRL launcher. Please stand by for station checks. All stations should announce status as green or red on channel 1. RC.
RC green.
M&O.
M&O green.
Programmer.
Programmer green.
LWO.
LWO green.
LC.
LC green.
PLC.
PLC green.
LPM.
LPM is green.
MM.
MM green.
RCE.
RCE is green.
SDO.
SDO is green.
SRPO.
SRPO is green.
PM.
PM's green.
RSO.
RSO green.
TD.
TD is green.
Check 103.
Program, this is TD.
Go ahead.
You can pick it up on the top if you have time, please.
Copy that on the top.
Yes, it is go time, Marco. We are green on every aspect. Just waiting on to see the actual liftoff time now.
check 106.
And we picked up the count. Launch time will be at
PM to
8:32 a.m. Eastern
Go
Time.
ahead, PM.
Interrogate transponder and verify good 5 code.
In work.
$8:32. Cool. Which means I should update my time as well. And should be seeing it now. So T minus 4 minutes until the launch, or what? I think it is.
PM, this is the MNO.
Go ahead.
Sir, I got good 5 code on radars 3 and 5.
Copy. Check item 107.
Yes, guys, we are picking up the count. So we are T minus 3 minutes and 40 seconds until this thing launches. We'll have to wait and see how things will look like, but everything is looking good right now. Yes, and all those of you who wanted to see this launch, just go out right now and look where you have to look. Basically, you know where is the from where the rocket will be launching, so just go out and look out for the rocket. There is a stream delay here, so better go out now only. Okay.
RSO, ROA.
Go for RSO.
Provide MRL final wind-weighted settings.
Final settings are azimuth 111.1, elevation 85.3.
Copy, no change from previous settings. LC, this is ROA.
LC.
No change to settings. Azimuth is 111.1, elevation 85.3.
Copy.
Check 108, check 109.
PLC check 110, 112, 113, 114.
PM to MNO.
Go ahead, PM.
Confirm transponder good on internal power.
Standby. PM, this is the MNO.
Go ahead.
I can confirm no change.
Copy. Check item 111.
Man, this is launching now. It was a bit a hold right there, but now we are go for the launch.
T-minus 2 minutes.
T minus 2 minutes. Wow, this is happening. I'm so excited. So excited right now. And again, I'm telling you guys, this is a solid rocket motor and it's a sounding rocket, so blink of an eye and you will miss it. So please don't blink your eyes. It is about to launch. T minus 1 minute and 30 seconds. There you go. Finally, we are having something here. T minus 1 minute. You should be able to announce that also. Wow. And the first stage, let me just tell you, the first stage just burns itself in just, burns the fuel in just 6 seconds. That's it. That's how fast it would be. So please don't blink your eyes.
1 minute.
MM check 117. Payload status is go.
T minus 1 minute, guys, and it is counting. Wow, this is cool.
LC. Terrier booster armed.
30 seconds.
30 seconds and counting. Guys, it's happening. Whoa. I'm so excited right now. T minus 20 seconds. 14, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11,
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Whoa, man.
3 and 5 are tracking.
That was so fast. Man. That was so fast. Man, this was the fastest rocket I've ever seen. I must say that. It was truly a very fast rocket there. Right now the second stage is burning and the burnout must have happened right now. So it will coast there with the second stage still attached to the payload so as to increase your mass to area ratio and decrease the drag. The more the mass, the less the drag. So yeah. Oh, no one blinked. Yes, I also hope that. Right now everything is looking good and the second stage must have burned out all of its fuel. It is coasting towards the apogee now. The payload separation will
We had
occur.
a good launch this morning of the Terrier-Improved Orion sounding rocket carrying the RockOn RockSat-C payloads from NASA's Wallops Flight Facility in Virginia. Launch time was 8:32 a.m. Eastern Time. The rocket is currently, payload is still flying. It will reach apogee at about the 8:35 mark. Then it will descend by parachute with deployment of the parachute at about 2.8 miles altitude, and it will land in the ocean where the payloads will be recovered. The experiments will be brought back here to Wallops, cleaned up, and then the Colorado Space Grant Consortium will ship those experiments back out to the students.
And we have the payload separation
for them to do analysis and look at their experiments to see how they performed and possibly for the next time around improve on their designs. So that concludes today's mission from Wallops. Next launch from here at Wallops. Again, window opens on July 6th, runs through the 20th of July. There'll be 2 sounding rockets as part of the mission, Dynamo 2. And those rockets will be launched on separate days with different windows. So just follow us on the Wallops website and also on our Facebook and Twitter sites for further information on those launches. And for those who are following on, we will now be joining the International Space Station and the spacewalks occurring there. Thank you and have a good day.
Exactly, Ken. Thank you so much for that appreciation. But I know those clouds when they come in between the viewing of these rockets. So at that time, these kind of things really help. So yes, and I know the Wallops coverage. I have seen that they are not very much great. So it's always good to have all these animations going side by side. So right now it has should have reached the apogee and it is right now coasting down, coming down here and will be splashing down in the ocean. So you can see that okay, so just a sec. I have to wait and yes, so right now it is coasting down, coming down, not coasting down but coming down. The payloads must have got their reading, as you know, and since this the payloads will be recovered, so there is one parachute on these payloads, so that will be out in around T plus 5 minutes and 50 seconds or so. Ready for work. I'll see you all at the next launch. Thanks, Jim, and have a great weekend, and have a great weekend to you for you too, and best of luck for your work. Yes, Ken, it does take some time. I must say the majority of my time does happen for this designing these kind of rockets and animations and all those things. So it's okay. I know it's worth it, so I do it no matter what. And what will be the next launch, Preeti? The next launch right now, it's in fact today only, around 12. How many hours from now? It's like 6, right? 6 hours from now, 6.5 hours from now, you should be able to see one more launch. That will be a Soyuz launch from Russia, but it's a military launch again, so we don't know whether we'll be having a live stream for that or not. But yeah, but after that, which the major launch is which is coming up is the Transporter 2 mission of the SpaceX. And there you go, the parachute has been deployed, and now the payload will coast down to the Earth. Yes, Lucas Gamer, I made the craft file and all those. I synced up the those animations with the actual timing and all those things. So takes time, but yeah, that's a rocket game KSP. Okay, so yeah, the Transporter 2 mission I was telling you, and for the Transporter 2 mission, the SpaceX has got some really cool trajectory for the Falcon 9 booster. We'll have to wait and see how that thing goes. And we haven't got much details about the satellites going into for the Transporter 2 mission. We don't know how many are there, and we are just waiting whether they will break their record again or not. Last time they broke the world record of sending the most number of satellites in a single launch. Around 143 were launched, and now again they are back with another rideshare mission going for a polar launch, and that is scheduled to happen on Monday, so you should be able to see that. So you say, which rocket was the most challenging for you to replicate in KSP? That's a good question. I must say that the most challenging was not the rocket, but itself the craft file. If you remember, I did the Zhurong rover landing on Mars, and replicating the Zhurong rover was the most toughest one. It literally took me some like 7 hours to just design the craft file. It's like it's not like I can't do that. Designing and testing whether it will work and not, and then recording it, and then syncing it, and then editing it, and then making it with the final presentation. So yeah, news was 88 plus payloads with Transporter 2. That is itself okay. 88 plus payload itself is good, but not the world record. But again, we don't know the exact number yet, so we'll have to wait and see. Okay. You can did you tag me on Twitter, anyone? Did you get? Nope. And okay, thanks so much, Ryosuke, for that shout out. Liftoff, did we have something here? No. Yes, cloud cover was there, and we were not able to see. Were you able to see the launch? I don't think so though, but yeah, it's okay. Just a sec. Yes, Mars. See, I did made that Mars craft. It was, I know. I mean, KSP is one game or simulation which I myself love from my heart, and integrating it with the live stream, it's the best thing which I have ever done for a live stream. I must say that. And yes, it gives a better visual of what is going on, as well as it gives me the pleasure of designing the rocket crafts on KSP. So yeah, it's a win-win for both. Still coasting down. It's like 5 minutes still remaining for splash down. It's a very small, very slow and steady. It comes down onto the river. It's like 2.8 miles above. The parachutes are deployed, and then it slowly and steadily comes down, and that coming down time is around 10 minutes. So yep. Okay, so talking about some things, I don't know what is happening with this row. I don't know, seriously don't know. Hibernation mode or what. I myself is disappointed with this row, I must say that. I mean, they had this what I must say, one satellite already ready since March 2020, and the rocket was also ready. The rocket hardware was there, but they haven't launched till it was supposed to be launched in March 2020, and now it's like June 2021, and we haven't seen the launch of that thing. Have to see, wait and see when will that happen. And yesterday the Windows 11 was launched. Did you like it or not? Windows 10, Windows 11. Okay, memes are going on, but yesterday, if you don't know guys, Windows 11 inauguration event was yesterday, and Windows 11 was launched, and there the taskbar and the start menu will be on the center. So that's a major thing which you will see in your visual changes for visual Windows 11. Although the rollout for public is slated for early 2022, but the launch happened yesterday. So that is the thing. Giant solar panels which will be rolled, and we can see the astronauts doing that. Wow, you can see this seeing a spacewalk itself is a very interesting thing to do. I mean, they are literally the people who are working in a hostile environment, and that's why they have to wear these EVA suits and the diapers also, because these kind of EVA activities can last up to hours, like 4 to 6 hours. And once in an EVA pack, they will go inside only if the work is completed. So, and they are tired. So that's why they wear the diapers also in it. And we can see those massive solar panels, these rolling solar panels out there being installed, and hopefully it is installed by now, I suppose, or it's still going on. Let me just see that. Let's just see that. Let's just see the spacewalk once. It's still continuing. It is still continuing. They're literally outside right now and doing all these things. I do watch these spacewalks whenever I get the time, you know, to whenever I have free time and these spacewalks are going on. So always a delight to watch these things. All of those things floating away right now. They must be on the Earth shadow. That's why they're using their own headlights, which they have on the suits. Although we can't see much of what they are doing, but whenever we get a full view of the astronauts literally doing something, then we get to see a good image of what is going on there. And the payloads are preparing themselves to be splashed down soon. Windows, I'm starting to prefer Linux more and more every day. Unfortunately, you can't play my poker site application exactly. Linux is more dev friendly, and
this is Mission Control Houston. 55 minutes into today's spacewalk. Thomas Pesquet, using a pistol grip tool, has released 4 bolts restraint bolts used
and splashdown
to maintain the ISS rollout solar array in a safe configuration on flight support equipment it launched on in the trunk of the cargo Dragon vehicle that arrived at the station a few weeks ago.
We're going to verify that R5 is released.
Okay. But that's on the other side, closer to Polo. I'm going to translate nadir. R5, Jenny, that's good with you.
That sounds good to me, and good words. R5 is next to Stanchion Bravo, so Zenith inboard by the POA.
Okay, guys.
The R5 bolt being referred to by spacewalk communicator Jenny Seide is a hinge restraint for the solar array on its flight support structure. Next up for Pesquet would be the release of anti-rotation devices. This was a feature installed for launch to maintain structural integrity for the array on the flight support equipment.
Exactly. So I think, guys, I can now end this stream right now, and if you like this stream, you may like this stream here. Yeah, if you love it, you can always click on that thumbs up button, and maybe subscribe if you haven't, for more awesome streams out there. And I'll be back most probably with the Transporter 2 mission, but maybe soon also, if we get some videos for Soyuz launch. So until then, this is Piyanshu Rohila. You just serve Rocket Gyan. Stay safe, stay healthy, and bye-bye.